Introduction of Crime and Punishment Book Summary, The Mind of a Criminal. A young man walks out of his tiny dark room. His thoughts are stormy. His heart is restless. He is about to do something that will change his life forever. But why? What makes a person commit a crime? This is the main question in Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. This is not just a story about murder. It is a deep journey into the human mind. It explores guilt, morality, and the struggle for redemption. Rodion Raskolnikov, the main character, is poor, lonely, and desperate. He believes he is special, above the law. He convinces himself that killing an old woman, a greedy pawnbroker, is justified. He thinks he is doing something great. But can any crime ever be right? After the murder, guilt slowly takes over his mind. He tries to escape it with logic, but his conscience fights back. His mental battle begins. The more he tries to justify his crime, the more he suffers. This novel takes us deep into his thoughts. It shows us how guilt can destroy a person. It makes us question our own sense of right and wrong. In this video, we break down the key moments of Crime and Punishment. We analyze Raskolnikov's thoughts, we explore the hidden meanings behind his actions, and we uncover the powerful lesson of the novel. Stay with us until the end. You may never see crime the same way again. This video, including its audio and script, is protected by copyright. Unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or piracy is strictly prohibited and may result in legal action. Welcome to Society Culture English Book Summary, Episode 3. In this episode, we'll explore 1866 published book Crime and Punishment, written by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. The full title of the book is Crime and Punishment, a philosophical masterpiece on the boundaries between good and evil. Chapter 1. Of Crime and Punishment. Book Summary. A divided mind. Rodion Raskolnikov is a troubled man. He lives in a tiny suffocating room in St. Petersburg. The city is hot and smells awful. His mind is filled with thoughts he cannot escape. He walks the streets talking to himself. He believes fear holds people back. If not for cowardice, people could do anything. But what is he planning? We don't know yet. Raskolnikov decides to practice. He counts 730 steps from his home to an old building. He knocks on a door. An elderly woman, Elena Ivanova, answers. She is small, wrinkled, with sharp eyes and a sharp nose. She is a pawnbroker. Raskolnikov has been selling her things for months. He looks around, studying every detail of the room. He notices how sunlight enters through the window. He needs to know exactly what the room will look like at a certain moment. He gives her a watch to pawn. She pays him very little. He expected that. He says goodbye and leaves, telling her he may return in a day or two. As he walks away, he feels sick. His steps become uneven. His body shudders. Oh God, how disgusting it all is, he cries. Doubt and fear overwhelm him. He wanders into a tavern, a place he has never been before. For the first time in weeks, he wants to be around people. There he meets Marmeladov, a drunken former clerk. Marmeladov talks about his life. He has lost everything to alcohol. His daughter Sonia now works as a prostitute to support their family. Raskolnikov listens. He feels pity. When he helps Marmeladov home, he secretly leaves money on the windowsill. Raskolnikov is a man divided. His name even suggests division. Raskolnik means schism. He is cold and ruthless, yet kind and generous. He plans something terrible, yet he also feels remorse. His loneliness fuels his thoughts. His tiny room and the city's heat suffocate him. His mind is trapped in ideas instead of reality. He believes fear stops people from achieving greatness. Maybe he thinks he is different. Maybe he believes he is bold enough to take the next step. Tomorrow, he will visit an old university friend. But what will happen next? Chapter 2 of Crime and Punishment Book Summary. A terrible crime. Raskolnikov is restless. He keeps thinking about what he is going to do. His anxiety grows. To calm himself, he drinks vodka in a tavern. The alcohol is too strong for him. He stumbles outside and falls asleep in some bushes. While sleeping, he has a terrifying dream. He is a child again, in his village. A group of drunk peasants gathers outside a tavern. There is a thin, weak horse pulling a large cart. The leader, Mikolka, wants the horse to run, but it is too tired. He whips the horse cruelly, laughing. Others join in, beating the helpless animal until it collapses and dies. Little Raskolnikov rushes to the horse, crying and hugging it. He tries to fight Mikolka but suddenly wakes up. Shaken, he thinks about his plan. Can it be? Will I really do this? He whispers. He now fully realizes that he is about to commit murder. That evening, Raskolnikov takes an axe from the kitchen. He walks to Alyona Ivanovna's apartment, feeling strangely calm. She lets him inside and he hands her a cigarette case to examine. As she turns her back, he lifts the axe and strikes her head. Blood gushes as he hits her again and again. She collapses dead. His hands tremble as he searches her pockets. He takes valuables from under the bed. Then suddenly he hears footsteps. It is Alyona's sister, Lizaveta. She sees the horror before her and lets out a small moan. Raskolnikov freezes. Then he grabs the axe and rushes at her. She does not scream. Her mouth quivers like a child's. She does not even raise her hands to protect herself. He swings the axe, splitting her skull open. She falls, dead. Panic grips him. He had planned Alyona's murder, but Lizaveta's was unexpected. His mind starts to blur. He washes the axe and his hands in a bucket of water. He checks his clothes for blood. His heart pounds. His dream about the horse now seems deeply connected to what he has done. Mikolka, the cruel man in the dream, represents the dark, violent side of Raskolnikov. The child version of himself, who loved the horse, represents his kind and caring side. These two forces battle inside him. Alyona's murder was cold and calculated. He struck her while her back was turned, making it easier. But Lizaveta's murder was different. He had to face her, to look into her innocent eyes as he killed her. There was no justification for her death. At this moment, he fully understands the horror of his crime. That night, Raskolnikov lies in bed, unable to sleep. Fear, guilt, and confusion fill his mind. His real punishment has only just begun. Chapter 3 of Crime and Punishment Book Summary. The punishment begins. As the sun rises, Raskolnikov wakes up feeling feverish. Memories of his crime flood his mind. He realizes he never closed his door, hid his stolen items, or changed his clothes. Fear grips him. Is he losing his mind? Is his punishment already starting? Later, he is summoned to the police station. Panic sets in, but when he arrives, he learns it has nothing to do with the murder. His landlady has reported him for unpaid rent. The officer, Ilya Petrovich, questions him, but Raskolnikov is agitated and delirious. He suddenly stops caring about what anyone thinks. Even if the room were filled with loved ones, he would still feel alone. A deep, painful loneliness takes over his soul. Back in his room, he gathers the stolen goods. He buries them under a large stone in a random courtyard. His emotions swing wildly. Relief, confusion, then hatred for everything around him. As he wanders, he finds himself outside his friend Razumikin's home. He goes inside but soon feels rage and tries to leave. Razumikin stops him, offering kindness and even work. Raskolnikov briefly accepts but then leaves in frustration. That night, he falls into a deep sleep filled with nightmares. He slips into a feverish state, barely aware of reality. The weight of his crime crushes him. He realizes he is forever cut off from humanity. His punishment is not just physical, it is psychological too. Razumihin plays an important role in the story. His name comes from the Russian word for reason. He represents logic and kindness, something Raskolnikov desperately needs. Perhaps if he had spoken to Razumihin before the murder, he might have been stopped. Even though Raskolnikov outwardly resists, deep down, he craves connection. This battle between isolation and belonging will define his fate. Chapter 4 of Crime and Punishment Book Summary. Crossroads of Guilt. Raskolnikov wakes up from his feverish state. He leaves his apartment confused and restless. He starts questioning random people on the street. Eventually, he ends up at a cafe called the Palais de Cristal. There he meets Zametov, a police clerk. During their conversation, Raskolnikov smirks and teases Zametov about the murders. He brags about knowing a lot about crime, even describing the murder in great detail. Zametov grows suspicious, but Raskolnikov quickly reassures him that he was only imagining how he would have done it. After leaving the cafe, Raskolnikov unknowingly walks to Alyona Ivanova's apartment, the scene of his crime. Inside, two workers are redecorating. He stares at the floor and asks where the blood went. The workers become alarmed. They threaten to report him to the police. The porter eventually throws him out. Standing outside, Raskolnikov hesitates. Should he turn himself in? He looks around for a sign. Then he notices a crowd at the end of the street. A man has been run over by a carriage. It is Marmeladov, a poor drunk. Instead of going to the police, Raskolnikov rushes to help him. Marmeladov is badly injured. A doctor confirms he will not survive. A priest arrives to give him his last rites. Suddenly, a young woman in a flashy silk dress appears. She has a pale, timid face and scared eyes. It is Sonia, Marmeladov's daughter, who was forced into prostitution to support her family. Seeing her, Marmeladov cries out for forgiveness. He dies in her arms. Raskolnikov gives Sonia's mother money for a funeral. Then he leaves, feeling strangely satisfied. He believes his kindness has redeemed him. But deep inside, he knows the truth. This is not enough to erase his crime. Raskolnikov is lost, torn between guilt and justification. He flirts with confession but stops short. He tries to do good, but redemption requires more. Soon he will meet Sonia again. She may be the key to his salvation. Chapter 5 of Crime and Punishment Book Summary. Extraordinary Yet Flawed. Raskolnikov is an unusual man. He visits Porfiry Petrovich's apartment. Razumikin goes with him. They want the return of Raskolnikov's pawned items. These items belong to a dead pawnbroker. Raskolnikov acts as if he is laughing. He hides his fear behind his smile. Porfiry Petrovich is the head of the investigation. He is very smart and shrewd. He watches Raskolnikov closely. Porfiry asks why Raskolnikov is there. Raskolnikov claims that Porfiry already knows the truth. He winks at him. It seems Porfiry is toying with him. Porfiry had met Raskolnikov before. 2 months ago, he read an article written by Raskolnikov. The article was called On Crime. In the article, Raskolnikov wrote about great men. He said some people are better than others. These people are extraordinary. They have the right to break the law. They may commit crimes for a good cause. Raskolnikov gave the example of Newton. He suggested that Newton could have sacrificed lives to make discoveries. After leaving Porfiry's place, Raskolnikov returns home. He feels feverish again. His mind is full of worry. He thinks about Porfiry and his own ideas. He also doubts his own theories. He wonders if he is truly extraordinary. He is not sure he fits the idea he wrote about. Raskolnikov's idea of an extraordinary man is important. His thoughts echo later ideas from German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche wrote about the Übermensch or Superman. Both thinkers looked at nihilism. Nihilism says there are no clear moral truths. It rejects old ideas of family and society. Dostoyevsky, the author, feared nihilism. He thought that without a moral guide, people could harm each other. He believed that reason alone could justify even murder. Nietzsche saw nihilism as a path to a moral crisis. In this crisis, the Übermensch would create new values. Nietzsche meant this as a positive goal. However, Dostoyevsky warned against such dangerous ideas. Raskolnikov tries to act like the extraordinary man he described, but his feelings and conscience show his true nature. He is confused by his own thoughts. His inner conflict makes him question his beliefs. His struggle is a warning about relying on cold logic alone. Chapter 6 of Crime and Punishment Book Summary. Sacred Suffering. Sonia is a kind but troubled soul. She works as a prostitute, yet her heart is full of compassion. She cares deeply for her family. Her mother, Katerina Ivanova, struggles with mental illness. Sonia defends her mother even when others do not understand her behavior. Her love is strong even in hard times. One day, Raskolnikov talks to Sonia. He asks about her family. He worries that Sonia's younger sister Polenka might end up like her. Sonia cries out saying, God will not allow such a fate. Her faith in God is deep. When Raskolnikov questions if God exists, Sonia sobs in despair. She clings to her belief that God protects the innocent. Raskolnikov sees Sonia's strong religious nature. He calls her a religious maniac. He believes her faith might affect him too. Still, he takes her New Testament and asks her to read a story. Sonia reads about Lazarus, the man brought back to life by Jesus. For Sonia, Lazarus is more than a story. It is a sign of hope and new beginnings. After the reading, Raskolnikov reveals he has cut ties with his family. He tells Sonia that she is all he has left. He asks her to leave with him, though he does not know where they will go. Sonia only sees his deep unhappiness. Raskolnikov adds that Sonia has hurt her own life by her choices. This confuses and upsets her. Later, Raskolnikov meets Sonia again. He sits on her bed and asks her to guess who killed Lizaveta. Sonia sees fear in his eyes. When she finally understands, she grabs his hands tightly. She cries, "What have you done?" and hugs him in despair. Sonia promises to never leave him. She asks him for a cross. She gives him her own cross and says she will wear one that belonged to Lizaveta. Together, they agree to bear their cross. Raskolnikov must confess his crimes, and Sonia vows to follow him, even to Siberia. Sonia is a symbol of self-sacrifice. Despite her profession, she is pure and kind. She shows us that even in suffering, there is hope. Her faith in God is simple and true. In her, we see the pain and strength of all who suffer. Her story reminds us that redemption can come after even the darkest times. Chapter 7 of Crime and Punishment Book Summary: A New Beginning. Raskolnikov starts his journey by visiting his mother, then his sister, and finally Sonia. At Sonia's place, he takes back his cross. She asks him to pray. He does not understand why, but he agrees. Then he heads toward the police station. On the way, he takes a detour to the Haymarket. He remembers Sonia's words, "Go to the crossroads, bow to the people and kiss the ground." Suddenly, he feels overwhelmed with emotion. He falls to the ground. The crowd laughs at him, but he gets up and walks on. Sonia follows him from a distance, proving her loyalty. At the police station, he hesitates. But seeing Sonia's pale, terrified face, he turns back. His lips turn white, his voice shakes, and he finally confesses. "I killed the old pawnbroker and her sister with an axe," he tells Zametov, the clerk. The novel then jumps ahead in time. Raskolnikov is now in a Siberian prison, serving his sentence. Sonia follows him there just as she promised. However, he does not immediately regret his crime. He still believes his theory was not foolish. His only mistake, he thinks, was breaking the law. Sonia often visits him from outside his prison window. One day, they finally meet in the yard. Sitting together, he suddenly breaks down in tears and falls at her feet. She is surprised, but then she understands. In her eyes, a light of pure happiness appears. At last, he loves her. Thin and pale, they stand together, looking toward a new future. That night, Raskolnikov takes Sonia's New Testament from under his pillow. He does not open it yet, but he wonders if her faith is now his own. His redemption has begun. The path ahead will not be easy. He must confess, not just to the law, but to God and humanity. Only then will he be truly free. Dostoyevsky does not write the rest of Raskolnikov's story, but his journey toward salvation has started. It is a new beginning. Conclusion of Crime and Punishment Book Summary. Thank you for watching our video. We explored a dark tale of guilt and redemption. Raskolnikov, the main character, believes he is extraordinary. He thinks his ideas make him superior. This belief pushes him to commit a terrible crime. He murders a pawnbroker with an axe. His plan goes wrong when her sister enters the room. Raskolnikov kills her as well. These events happen early in the story. The rest of the novel follows his painful journey. We see him face harsh punishment. Raskolnikov battles deep inner demons. He feels delirious and nearly insane. His mind is full of conflict. He feels isolated from the world. Every moment is filled with remorse and dread. A kind woman named Sonia enters his life. Sonia is a virtuous prostitute with a big heart. She helps him see the error of his ways. With her gentle guidance, Raskolnikov starts to feel hope. He is urged to confess his sins. In the end, he accepts responsibility. The story concludes with Raskolnikov in a Siberian prison. Here he experiences a moment of divine grace. This moment sparks the start of his redemption. His journey reminds us that even in darkness, there is a path to light. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay tuned for more insights and reflections. Disclaimer, please check the description. Any digital copy of this content that is shared through piracy or downloaded without permission or uploaded on any online social media platform will be considered a clear violation of copyright law. Piracy is a serious offense, and strict legal action will be taken against it. Additionally, copyright infringement may result in a strike against your YouTube channel or page, and it could even be deleted. Therefore, please do not engage in piracy or support it. This content has been created based on the references from the mentioned book. However, it may contain some unintentional errors or inconsistencies due to human or mechanical mistakes. If you notice any mistakes or inconsistencies, please accept our apologies and inform us through a comment or message. If you enjoy this book summary and wish to gain complete knowledge of the book, then please consider purchasing the book from an online or offline bookstore and reading it.